Well, good evening, everyone. Michael, Soothing here. I'm doing an experiment using the Tascam microphone today to see if that is an improved sound or a degraded sound. The Tascam, I'll show you. Here it is. It boosts the gain quite a bit with this particular camera. And so I think I'm going to shoot, if I can remember, I'll shoot part of this video with the Tascam. And then I will just use the normal mic on the camera. And you can tell me. What I'm going to do today is go through some of the newspapers I'm so far behind on, and I will also do some chewing gum. These are just USA Todays that I got while traveling when Joanne and I were traveling, and you get the free paper. I'm going to chew on a little Hubba Bubba. This Tascam is a little bit stereophonic, so if I was to tap this over here and then move it around to the other side, you'd get a little bit of a stereo feel, right? Alright, so we'll pull off some of this Hubba Bubba tape. You know, I have the wrong chair for this. I should have my comfy chair. Maybe when I switch to the non-Tascam audio, I'll get the comfy chair also. It says here, students aren't the only ones crushed by student debt. Well, I don't know. What does it cost to feed a baby for a year? Well, it depends on the size of the baby, I think, don't you? Let's see what they say. By the numbers, $1,200 to $1,500. The cost of infant formula for a baby's first year, as opposed to only $1,000 the cost to breastfeed the baby for a year. I'm not sure I agree with that assessment, because having parental experience in this particular area, I would say that mom eats about $200 a month more food when breastfeeding, and a month. And also, you have to buy all the paraphernalia. Of course, bottle feeding has all that paraphernalia also. The thing of it is, though, breastfeeding is so much more healthy for the baby, boosts their autoimmune system and all kinds of other things, because there's stuff that you just can't get in the infant formula, antibodies and all that kind of thing. Burning Man to use new security steps. You know, I've never had a burning desire to go out to the desert in 120-degree heat to a place where there's no bathrooms or shade or cold water or anything else. Hang out with thousands of screaming crazy people And out there in the hot sun, who are drinking and using illicit drugs, and then watch a wood structure go up in flames after waiting for days to do it. But that's just me. Maybe for you it would be a very exciting and enjoyable event. To each our own, right? Oh, look. State by state news. Let's see what happened in other states that's important. Anything? California. Poultry is under quarantine. Must be a slow news day there. Colorado. Nah, that's boring. Connecticut. An equipment train and a commuter train had a minor collision. There was one person that suffered minor injury. Delaware. A loggerhead sea turtle, they even have a graphic for this one, which is federally listed as endangered and threatened species, laid eggs in the state for the first time since 2011. A Fenwick Island beach official says. Now that's more like it. I want real news, not this other phony stuff posing as news. Let's see. Honolulu, Hawaii. An appeals court ruling that Aloha Bed and Breakfast discriminated by denying a room to two women will stand after the state's high court declined to take up the case, whatever all that means. Idaho Falls. Private landowners donated 80,000 artifacts found in caves on their land to the Museum of Idaho. Wow. 80,000 artifacts found in caves. I would have liked to have found a few of those just for fun, because I love to go on treasure hunts down at the beach and things like that. South Carolina. This must be an article that has to do with shrimps. See? Little shrimps. What's it say? I hope this Tascam is not overdriving the sound levels. Mayor Billy Kierseling and the Chamber of Commerce are in a dispute over a shrimp festival. The mayor says the city plans to take over the event, and the Chamber of Commerce says they plan to have their own festival. Maybe there'll be competing shrimp festivals. That would be good for the consumer, right? Because they could pick which one they want to go to, or they could go to both. And they'll both try harder to be the best shrimp festival. I don't know about you, but I happen to like shrimp. I must agree with Hubba Gum about shrimps. You can have them barbecued or deep fried or how many ways did he say? Boiled. You can have shrimp stew. Not Bubba Gum. Bubba was the friend who wanted to do the shrimp stuff, right? And have a store. Let's see what else is going on here. Do things step by step to ease a cluttered mind. Your girlfriend likely has priorities of her own. Well, that goes without saying. The reason I'm skipping around is because I'm easily distracted. No more turboprops. Oh, look. No more turboprops at American Airlines. As usual, I had to change the battery pack in mid-video. My apologies. Anyway, as I was saying, I used to ride these turboprops. One of the worst flights I ever had was going down the West Coast to San Diego at a time when there was a big Pacific storm rolling in. And that ride was so bumpy that I was slamming my head on the ceiling over and over, even though I had a seatbelt on, because there was only about that much clearance, and my head kept going bang, 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 because the plane kept jumping up and down. It was a little bit scary. The wings were flapping as if we were on an actual bird. I know they're made to flex like that, but it still disturbed me. Let's see what it says. They're phasing them out, those turboprop planes, at the big four airlines. I guess they'll be flying small jets now. Dash 8 turboprops retired from American. You can find a handful still flying on some other airlines like Horizon. Airline seat standards are coming, it says. Do you ever fly on airlines? Are they going to make the seat standards better or worse? They can't be any worse. Bill will require FAA to set rules for legroom and seat size. I saw a video on YouTube of a guy who had to stand in the aisle for a 9-hour flight because there was a massive obese passenger who was taking up his seat as well as the guy's seat who had to stand the whole way. There were no other seats available on that flight. They were all full. No offense to the larger among us, but shouldn't they be required to book 2 seats if they cannot fit into one? Because how is it fair for the other passenger to have to stand the whole way for a ticket they paid for, or be squished into the bulkhead, so that it creates a bulge on the side of the window outside the plane? I think that's a little unfair. And will these airline seat standards come with a provision that requires small children who kick the back of the seat the whole way to be locked up in the doggy pen down below? Because I think that should be part of the seat standard, don't you? Children have 2 favorite things. I'm talking about the ones who have been raised or not raised to be ill-mannered, and their parents do nothing about it on the flight. One thing they like to do is to kick the back of your seat as many times as possible. But their other favorite entertainment for in-flight amusement purposes is to put the tray down and then beat on it and pound on it so that your seat back is doing this the whole time. I think many passengers have come to blows over these issues. And then also, of course, there's the person who puts their seat back, and you're so cramped already because there's no space, so you can't do a laptop or anything like that, or even move. I'm glad I don't do a lot of flying anymore. It was enjoyable in the early days, but not so much anymore. Mad about Bradley Cooper, whoever that is. Oh, look. Inside My Mind, Intimately Robin Williams. We just watched a Robin Williams movie last night. Even though I'm not a huge fan, we watched a movie called The Final Cut, where it's a sci-fi futuristic film where they can implant a device, a bio-neurological device that records everything you see through your whole life. And then at the end of your life, after you die, a cutter takes all that footage and makes a little memorial tape out of it, right? Video. The highlights of your life. So the cutter has to remove all the bad stuff, bathroom habits and any swearing or road rage you might have done or worse, and then just put in the good parts to phony up the record of the person's life. Anyway, I won't give the whole thing away in case you ever watch it. And he talks about here, I guess this is a book he wrote before he died. Interviews with co-stars, friends, and others, exes. He made some good films like Dead Poets Society. I saw him in a film with Al Pacino. What was in it? Where he was the bad guy. Robin Williams. He was the killer. It was quite a good film, and Al Pacino was shall we say, a cop whose moral principles had been compromised. That film was called Insomnia, because it was set in Alaska in the middle of summer when you only have 3 or 4 hours of darkness and it's hard to sleep. Die hard at 30 years old. Welcome to the party, pal. Bruce Willis used to be married to Demi Moore once upon a time. I think she dumped him for someone half her age, as I recall. I won't go into too much more detail because I might say the wrong thing, and I wouldn't want to do that. Heaven forbid I should ever offend you. It seems like I'm just reading the entertainment bits. No clowning around. Joker-fueled obsession. Oddball among 12 new Jupiter moons. That looks interesting because I'm into space. I haven't popped any bubbles yet. Okay, I'm going to pause, pull the plug on the Tascam, then we're going to go to just the straight video cam mic, which is also stereo, and see if that's better or worse. Hold on one moment. I think I'll get my comfy chair also. Okay, I'm back. First of all, my chair is different. I got the comfy chair. Now, it's quite comfy here. So, I have to change the angle a tiny bit on the camera. And now you'll be able to tell me whether you like this audio better or the previous one with the Tascam. I'm also going to pull a little bit more Hubba Bubba out of here. See, this one can be a little stereo also, but it's not as pronounced in effect. I haven't even tried to blow a bubble yet. But where we left off was oddball among new Jupiter moons. Let's see what it says. Astronomers have discovered 12 additional moons orbiting Jupiter, bringing the total to 79 moons. Who knew? When I was a kid, they said there were, like 10 moons or something. Now they know there's 79. The most of any planet in the solar system. The moons were discovered while astronomers were searching for objects at the edge of the solar system. Jupiter just happened to be in the sky near the search fields where we were looking for extremely distant solar system objects. So we were serendipitously able to look for new moons around Jupiter while at the same time looking for planets at the fringe of our solar system. One of the objects they were looking for is the mysterious Planet X, also known as Planet 9, which remains undiscovered. Now, how can you name it if you haven't discovered it yet? Anyway, it's due to a gravitational anomaly, see? So they infer that it's out there. It changes slightly the orbit of certain distant objects. Maybe it's a little bitty black hole, and there could be a good sci-fi movie made about it, instead of an actual planet. Las Vegas. Tour boats must stay back after lava bomb. A volcano sent a giant lava bomb that blew right through the roof of this tour boat. See? I saw a video of it. You can look it up on YouTube. Lava was flying from the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii, which has been erupting for a while now, causing quite a few problems. So the molten rock exploded as it entered the ocean and threw chunks of lava onto the Lava Ocean Tour's boat, smashing a basketball-sized hole through the boat's roof. I wouldn't have wanted to be under that melted lava when it came down. There were some injuries. The most seriously injured person was a woman in her 20s who had a broken thigh bone from the incident. Wow. Anyway, don't go too close to natural disasters. It's not a good idea. news because I find it so boring most of the time. Jeff Bezos, this is the business section. Bezos is the richest person in modern history. Wow. Now is more wealthy than Bill Gates and founded Amazon. Bezos there. I must admit I use Amazon quite a bit because out here on the Oregon coast it's very hard to shop for things. There's no big malls or stores, so if you want to get anything that's not basic, you pretty much have to go online to do it. Should I try blow a bubble with this Hubba Bubba? I'll give it a shot. I've never been any good at it. There, I got a little one. Kind of a dud, but this says, looking for Tesla solar products? Be patient. Really, well, I would say if you're looking for Tesla's main product, you're going to have to be patient because he promised to build 3,000 or 4,000 a month Tesla Model 3 and failed on his promise, but more importantly, he promised the Model 3 would be a $35,000 version of the Tesla electric vehicle, and instead you have to pay more than double that to get one. He changed the price to 70 something thousand, and that was after promising for years they would build the Model 3 for the masses at $35K. But then Elon Musk is a bit crazy and has a history of making promises for which he cannot deliver. Don't get me wrong. Tesla is a very innovative, interesting, breakthrough vehicle, but the company loses money like crazy. I wouldn't invest in it unless it was on the short selling side. Oh, look. More state-by-state news. But it's all pretty boring. Florida's economy has topped 1 trillion. Really? How is that possible? Drugs? I don't know. This is what they report as the state-by-state important news. Louisiana. Civil Service Board signed off on a pay raise for the state's prison guards. That's just what the whole country wanted to know when they got USA Today, right? Okay. That was a better bubble. Just slightly better. Should you trust your brain on snap judgments? I don't know, should you? Let's see what the article says. I find that my first impulse can sometimes be wrong, and I'm better off analyzing things a little bit before I, make a quick decision. To be fair, I look like an underage intern. Oh, this is the guy writing the column. We tend to base trustworthiness on nothing more than a split-second impression, and we do it subconsciously. He goes on and on. This looks like a bore. It's all about snap judgments of others when you first meet up with them. Of course, that can be incorrect, but it can be correct also. I thought it would be more in-depth than that. Facebook takes heat over approached InfoWars, the wacky conspiracy site that's a free speech issue that I won't get into since it's politics. The new Chinatowns. Where are they? New Chinatowns. What's this about? Luxury real estate developments are emerging in these ethnic enclaves, attracting newcomers and concerns about displacing the working class. You know, I just can't get very interested today in most of the articles. I'm just not so fascinated about whether somebody builds a luxury condo in some other city and, it replaces an older building or something. Maybe it's just me, lack of, curiosity, but see, I'm curious about everything, so that must not be it. How to become a house painter. I don't want to paint houses. Oh, look. It's coloring books. That might be okay. I did a ASMR video once on adult coloring books. Maybe I'll do another one because I only did maybe one picture and I still have that book. So I could do that and just ramble to you while I'm using the colored pencils, right? Or I could do a freestyle, freeform thing. Draw events from life or something, but that would take forever, so I don't know. I'm going to close this video in any case because it's pretty long now, so do us all a favor. Don't ASMR and drive. Please tell me if you like the audio better with the Tascam, the first half of this video, or without it, the second half of this video, which you can tell which half is which because in the second half I'm sitting in this comfy chair that sticks up above my shoulders, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.